Yo, 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 welcome back to the live stream. It's your boy Tokyo Stoner. We are back in business. Today we're going to be playing some Stellar Blade Uncensored New Game Plus, breaking down another build to play on this version of the game. This build will definitely translate into vanilla version as well. You would just use Mark 2s instead of Mark 1s. Alright, let's get into it. So yeah, this is the Infinite Beta build, Blade Runner Mark 3. If you've been watching any of the streams, this is the build you've seen me using the majority of the time. I use this to fight every boss apart from Providence and Elden Atiba. The builds I use to defeat Elden Atiba and Providence will be linked in the comment section and in the description, so go and check those out as well. So yeah, let's get into it. Blade Runner Mark 3, Infinite Beta build. Let's go. So first you want your Beta Trance type Exospine. Increases Beta Energy Recharge by 12%. Attack power of Beta skills increases by 12%. Beta skills won't consume Beta Energy in Trance mode. So basically when you're using the Beta Trance type Exospine, your beta recharge energy is increased, your beta attack power is increased, but also you have a random chance to unlock infinite energy for a short amount of time, and that comes really in clutch against some of the stronger bosses and tougher enemies in the game. If you're unfamiliar with this version of the game, obviously your health is lower and your attack power is lower than in the base version of the game. So just to show you the stats quick, if you're playing Uncensored New Game Plus, your max HP and your attack power are much lower than they would be in vanilla version New Game Plus. So that's why your beta and your burst attacks and skills become such an important part of your build. Against the really strong enemies that have a lot of HP, you're going to be relying on these to deal the big damage. In the second slot, I use a reflex type Exospine. Shield regenerates faster when using guard, makes it easier to perfect dodge, makes it easier to perfect parry. The dodges and the parries have a tighter window on this version of the game. If you're playing this version and you're pretty cool with it, or if you're on vanilla and you're comfortable with the dodges and the parries, you could swap the reflex out for a chain type Exospine to give you more damage. You could also swap it out for a burst trance type or a protection type. All of them work well. You go for protection if you want to be a bit more tanky, burst if you wanted to increase burst energy, and chain if you wanted some more just raw attack power and crit damage. But for me, I quite like having the reflex partnered with the beta trance type. So for gears, you're going to go with the highest level that you have on attack speed. You're going to double up. So that's a 15% and a 12.5%. That gives you a total of 27.5% attack speed increase if you use both of these at the same time. I can't stress this enough. These two gears are crucial to the build. The entire Blade Runner build is basically built around these two gears. So like these are the core. They can't be swapped out. The only thing you could do is upgrade them for Mark 2s. Next, we're going to take a look at the beta charge gears. So we're going to have one beta charge and one beta recovery. So these two together, they work in this really wonderful fashion. So your beta charge gear makes it so that, you know, when you're parrying, when you're attacking, in all of the normal ways you would recharge beta, it gives you an increase on the rate. So you're recharging your beta faster than usual, right? This stacks along with your Exospine. So from the Exospine, you're getting 12% beta energy increase. And from the gear, you're getting another 10% energy recharge increase. So together, that's a 22% bonus. You with me? So these two synergize together, which increases your beta recharge in general. You've also got beta recovery gear. The way the recovery gears work is they increase your beta when you take damage, right? So with this build, you're recharging beta every time you deal damage. And remember, because you've got this attack speed buff, you're attacking more regularly than normal. So your beta is going to be recharging faster than normal, right? On top of that, you've also got a beta recovery gear. So if for whatever reason you get hit or you take a lot of damage, you're still going to be recharging beta. So whether you're winning the fight or losing the fight, you're still recharging beta, right? On top of that, your beta trance type Exospine gives you a random chance at infinite energy. Yeah, the infinite energy lasts for about 3, maybe 5 seconds, about that long. But like if you've got these three stacked and working together, it really opens the build up and just makes it incredibly powerful. Like if you're in a long fight that's going on for a long time against a boss with a lot of HP, this setup will keep your energy going and you're much less likely to get caught out in a situation where you've got no beta, no burst, and you're struggling to get the rhythm back. This system here really helps you just stay on top of the fight and keep your attacks charged up. So with the skill trees, we're going to look at the most important stuff first, and then I'll show you the other trees. I haven't fully upgraded the skill tree here. I've only upgraded the things that I think are the most important. So that way, if you don't have enough skill points on your save file to max out everything, you can at least get to grips with like what I think are the most important skills to have on your character. First, we're just going to go straight into the beta skills because that's the core of this build. And afterwards, we'll take a look at the burst. And so as you can see here, It's very crucial to this build. Your beta skill tree wants to be completely unlocked and fully upgraded. These upgrade trees are very important. You get more beta recharge, so you get a little bit of beta energy back every time you use these skills. More shield damage, more damage boost. And it's very important that you upgrade to the level 2 and 3s of these attacks. So for example, slash becomes crescent slash becomes infinite slash. So like the level 3 of this attack is far more powerful than the level 1 or the level 2. So for each of the beta skill trees, I really recommend just fully upgrading. So yeah, to point out some of the most important nodes on this skill tree, I'd say on Infinite Pierce, if you come down here, you've got Finishing Blow Increase. It damages the balance of the enemy hit with quadruplet, increases the attack power. So this just means every time you hit this enemy with this, it's going to remove 1 balance charge from the enemy, bringing them that much closer to the retribution state. On the Infinite Wave, I'll definitely recommend you go for Finishing Blow Increase. This just means that the enemies get knocked down on hit, and it works on every boss in the game, even the final bosses. And if you have enough energy to pull it off, you can stun lock them with this attack. So it's a really powerful attack. Can't recommend it enough. Make sure you get the knockdown. From my experience in Uncensored New Game Plus, Infinite Breaker is less reliable than the other beta skills, and it's also less reliable than Tempest when it comes to breaking shield. So by all means, go for the Infinite Breaker. It's a really fun and cool attack, but it's much more viable in New Game, in my opinion, than it is in New Game Plus. So yeah, if you have your Infinite Breaker already fully upgraded, then like, you know, party on, player. But if you haven't fully upgraded this one yet, and it's not part of your flow, then I would say focus on these 3 first. Make sure you grab your Infinite Pierce, your Infinite Wave, and your Infinite Slash, because those are the most important for New Game Plus. Moving on to the burst skill tree, the 2 most important attacks here are Descending Break and Tempest. We'll look at Descending Break first. The most important nodes on this skill tree is the Aftershock 1 and Aftershock 2. Aftershock 1 removes 1 balance charge from the enemy on hit, and Aftershock 2 makes it so the attack removes 2 balance charges. So every time you hit the enemy with this, they lose 2 balance charges, bringing them even closer to the retribution state, even than Triplet does. So this is one of the most powerful attacks in the game by far. Also, if you check the video of the attack, you can see she jumps in the air before she lands the attack. This attack is great for dodging damage or like getting out the way of damage and then responding. You know, it's a really cool attack. So when it comes to Tempest, the most important nodes on this attack are going to be the shield break, which increases the damage to enemy shields, because in New Game Plus this is going to be your main shield breaker attack. You with me? This is very strong. And lifesteal steals energy from enemies hit with Tempest and recovers HP. Additionally increases the attack power. So this is an amazing node. It really brings the attack to life. The lifesteal is not small. You get quite a lot of lifesteal back from this attack, and it also increases the attack power. So Punishing Edge is not so explosive in that it doesn't have any lifesteal or any balance damage, but it does come out very quickly. There's very little wind up before the attack triggers. It comes out almost instantly, just like Triplet. It's very good at interrupting the enemy. It creates a lot of space. It pushes the enemy back, and when fully upgraded, it knocks the enemy down. So yeah, used the right way in the right situation, this is a really powerful attack. So for me, the most important nodes in the Overdrive skill tree are Quick Boost 1 and Quick Boost 2. These both increase the amount of attack speed that you get while you're using Overdrive, and Quick Boost 2 also increases the duration of Overdrive. If you were low on skill points, you would go for Overdrive, Quick Boost 1, and Quick Boost 2 straight away, because that's just, it's so OP. You also get increased attack power and even more increased attack power. I would definitely recommend going for Overload 2 because it increases the duration of Overdrive as well. So yeah, the beta skill tree and the burst skill tree are pretty non-negotiable to use this build in the way it's meant to be used. Make sure you put some skill points aside so you can fully max out those skill trees. The Tacky skill tree is much less important, as in you can basically completely ignore this side. This side is all your parries and your dodges and your counters. You can use them if you want, obviously, but they are optional to the build. So yeah, for Tacky skill tree, you just want to make sure you got Judgment Wave, Revenge, and Judgment Time. As long as you've got those unlocked, you're going to be good to go. By unlocking this side of the skill tree, you get all 4 beta skills for when you're in Tacky mode, and you also get an increased duration of Tacky mode, so it's really important. Tacky mode, we're not really using it for damage, we're more using it to survive certain situations or to give us a little bit of extra defense in tight spots, you know? It's more, we're using it more defensively than we are aggressively. In the attack skill tree, you want to make sure you've got your beta energy recharge 1, your beta energy recharge 2, and your beta chain. Beta chain is very crucial to the build. You can also use beta chain to transfer your beta energy into burst energy, so check that out and make sure you get familiar with how this ability works. The assassination skill tree is optional. You can of course go for it if you want, but it's not required on this build. Upgrading your rush is crucial. The build doesn't really work properly without lightning rush and infinite rush. It just increases your range and the damage of the rush move. Also rush chain 1. I like rush chain 1 more than 2 because it doesn't have any cost. Rush chain 2 costs 1 beta charge. I prefer to save my beta energy for full-on beta skills. So yeah, rush chain 2 is optional, but rush chain 1 is very important. On your survival skill tree, you want to make sure you've got your beta recharges. This just means you're recharging more beta energy from your perfect parry. And basically anything on the skill tree that recharges beta, you want to make sure it's unlocked. Same goes for burst. Yeah, your focus boost to make it easier to parry. Your counter 1 and your counter 2. You can upgrade to counter chain 1 and counter chain 2, but those attacks are optional. Repulse is non-negotiable. You need repulse. Threat detection is pretty cool because it makes it easier to use blink and repulse. Reflex boost and double dodge are also very important parts of the build. Double dodge I would say is like very important. It doesn't work without double dodge. You also got burst energy recharge 1 and burst energy recharge 2. You need these two because they just mean that every time you perfect dodge, your burst energy is going to recharge off of it. And there's a lot of bosses in the game. Belial is the best example I can think of right now. Being able to dodge their attacks is really important to being able to win the fight and just to control the rhythm. So yeah, definitely get familiar with perfect dodge and make sure you've got your burst energy recharge 2 all the way unlocked. Reflection 1 and Reflection 2, you definitely want these. I use Reflection 2 a lot. It has a lot of armor and it interrupts the enemy. Even bosses get interrupted by this attack. It's very powerful. Chain Reflection 1 and Chain Reflection 2 are both optional. But of course, you know, they're very powerful attacks. So if you've got the skill points, I would definitely recommend going for Chain Reflection 2 and 1, Counter Chain 2 and Counter Chain 1. It's just, I'm trying to keep the cost low for players that don't have that many skill points. But they are really cool attacks, just not crucial to the build. So yeah, before we move on, I just want to say ideally you would have the entire skill tree maxed out. This is just to make sure people who don't have that many skill points, they're still able to see how you could put the build together with less skill points and how you might slowly piece it together. So for your drone upgrade modules, on your first set of upgrades, you want to go for Charge Blaster Rail, Stinger Missile Pod, Enhanced Slugs, and Hacking Tool, just to make sure you've got the full functionality of the drone. After that, you want to grab Shotgun Shell Magazine and Explosive Shell Magazine, because that's going to open up your ammo types. So when you bring out the gun, if you press down on the D-pad, it opens up all the ammo types. So those two skill trees we just unlocked, they give us access to the Explosive Shell and to the Shotgun Shell. So I definitely would prioritize those first because it opens up full functionality for the drone. Once you've sorted out your shotgun shells and your explosive shells, I would recommend going for Slug Magazine Expansion 1 and Slug Magazine Expansion 2. Primarily because there are some bosses in the game that require you to use the slugs, and they require quite a lot, you know, to shoot down some of the flying objects and stuff like that. You start off with 30 slugs, you upgrade to 40, and at the end you get 50. It does feel very different having 50 slugs versus having 30, so I would really recommend focusing on that. Also, out of all of the ranged attack types, I probably find myself using this one the most often. There are certain situations it can't deal with, but it's just very versatile, so it's good to have. And then with my remaining drone upgrade modules, I just upgraded these piece by piece. Obviously, you do want your stingers upgraded all the way to level 3. At this level, you can shoot 3 missiles at once. Once you upgrade, you can shoot 5, and the maximum upgrade, you can shoot 8. Once it's fully upgraded, this really does some damage, and it hits very hard. It's really good if there's waves of enemies. Like if there's a lot of enemies, it will target all of them individually. It's a really cool and powerful move. And then of course Overcharge 1 and 2. I couldn't stress enough how powerful Overcharge 2 is. The fully upgraded Overcharge is ridiculously powerful. It's quite tricky to use it because it takes such a long time to charge up, but if you're in a situation where you are able to get it charged up, it does enormous damage. Like it is, and it's a really cool and fun attack. So like, I'm not going to sit here and say it's crucial to the build because it's not really, but it is very fun. So yeah, I hope you found the video useful. Hope you found it helpful. Hype and describe, all of that good stuff. Links in the description. Waves Volume 1, The Ocean, is out now for stream and download. Yeah, take care of yourselves and have fun playing the uncensored version of Stellar Blade. Like I said, these builds will translate to vanilla version. You would just use Mark II gears instead of Mark 1. If you're enjoying the vibes, subscribe to the channel, hit the notifications and all that. We're streaming this every day at the minute, so like, you'll be able to see us figuring all of this stuff out live on the stream as we're playing the game. Like I said, take care of yourselves, stay cool, and I'll catch you lot in the next one, man. Peace.